let's just go ahead and watch it. I will make some comments here and there over the video, so don't expect me to be completely silent watching this. Let's just do it. Let's just do it. I'll watch the entire thing, and then I'll go back over it. We'll sort of break down some of the art stuff that I saw. Hopefully it's like it's from software. I don't think it's gonna be underwhelming at all. Let's go.
Miquella the Kind spoke of the beginning.
Miquella the Kind.
The seduction and the betrayal.
It's interesting that they call him the Kind. So he's like
An affair
known
from which
to
gold arose.
Oh, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. And I already
And so
noticed a few
too
things
was
there
Shadow
in terms of
born.
art with this entire scene.
What
So gold
followed
and
was a
shadow.
war unseen.
All was a war unseen.
One that could never be put to song.
So this is like on the other end of the shattering, I guess.
A purge without grace or honor.
Messmer.
The tyranny of Messmer's flame.
Yeah. I saw him in the gameplay trip. Whoa! Oh my god. That's insane, man. That is insane. That looks massive as well. Oh, there's more.
And so kindly Miquella would abandon everything.
Kindly, he would abandon everything. So it was a grace for him to do that?
His golden flesh. His blinding strength. Even his fate.
Did that just confirm the Saint Trina theories?
But we are not deterred.
Okay. That's us? Yep. The
We
Tarnished.
choose to follow.
Oh my god. That gave me chills.
Will you
Are those all tarnished? I'm so happy. I'm so happy. I don't think you guys understand. I don't think you guys understand how much of a FromSoft fan I am and how much I love the Soul series, Bloodborne, Sekiro. All of these games are easily just like they take up my top 10 very easily. These are great. These are absolutely amazing games. Let's go to the other one, the gameplay trailer, which I think is, yeah, right here. I already watched this before, surprise, surprise, but I do want to show it just so that you guys can see, in case you've never seen it before. This is all done in the game engine. We'll go back on the cinematic trailer in a second, but this is all in-game engine. This is stuff that you can literally play and see in the game. Just want to say that.
Pure and radiant, he wields love to shrive clean the hearts of men.
Mm-hmm.
There is nothing more terrifying.
I will say it's very interesting, the two different perspectives of, some people say he's Miquella the Kind, and then this guy's describing him as something terrifying. It is really interesting.
In that forsaken place, blood must spill.
Blood of your fellows?
The Erdtree faithful.
They were never saints. They just happened to be on the losing side of a war.
And this boss right here, I'm so excited to fight. It looks insane. It looks insane, man.
Mother,
There he is.
wouldst
There's
thou
Messmer.
truly lordship sanction in one so bereft of light?
New weapons, new spells, new throwables, new armor sets, new landscape to explore. Looks like that might be a PvP arena or something, I don't know. That, like the new enemies as well, the new bosses look insane. I don't know what that is, but I'm curious.
Come now, touch the withered arm, and travel to the realm of shadow. I will not be far behind. May we meet again.
Okay. So, it seems like Ronnie, if you've played Elden Ring, you likely know Ronnie. I think she's gonna be kind of the one that sort of directs us toward the DLC once we've sort of beaten the game. But let's just go back over some of these shots from the story trailer. And just try to break down like whatever I can sort of notice about the process behind the making of this, right? Because that's what we do here. It's not the only sort of content that I do on this channel, but it is something that I love doing, and it's something that my viewers love to see. So, yeah, I don't know. If you're new here, this is kind of what we do. But on the side, I actually have a bunch of stuff that's just centered around me. Me playing video games, me, you know, doing whatever. But I try to make it interesting and like build a little narrative around the things that I do. So that way it's not just me just, I don't know, playing a game and not saying anything or not having any sort of motivation or goal. There will always be something to keep myself invested and hopefully keep the viewers invested as well. Anyway, let's just look into it, okay? First shot we have is, I would assume this is Miquella's
The
hand.
seduction and the betrayal.
I have no idea what this is. It's like some sort of, I don't know, it's like a womb, but also it's like made of cloth.
Betrayal.
Cloth and flesh. I don't know. A bit strange. This is like this
An affair
entire, it's
from
like a
which
living,
gold-
it's like a living palace staircase that Miquella is walking up, and you can tell it's Miquella because of the long hair and the fact that he's barefoot,
Which
mostly
gold
naked.
arose.
That's Miquella. Which raises a lot of questions for me. We've always known that Miquella is gonna be like this, well, he was always depicted to be a rather childlike figure, but now we have this more adult version of him, which, by the way, nice. I think, I don't know, it's like, okay, this is 100% like, his body and probably even the clothes that are animated here are likely in 2D and the environment. And there's just a little bit of post-processing done on it, along with having the 3D hair simulation going. But yeah,
so
I think for this close-up shot, the clothing is probably 2D. If I had to guess, it could be 3D. I don't know, but looks like it's probably 2D, in my opinion. Here looks like it's 3D, so it's probably 3D, honestly. But the environment here, I think that's entirely 2D. Everything from these two massive, like this gate, I guess. I was gonna say pillars, but no, this is basically just like a big gate. You have two different backgrounds as well, whereas like on the outsides of the gate you have this dark, cloudy atmosphere, and then right at the center you have this golden, maybe this is actually the inside of the Erdtree. Oh. This could actually be the inside of it. That's interesting. Or going through the gate of the Erdtree might take you between different realms. I don't know. But that's interesting. This looks like it would be part of the Erdtree, just in my opinion. Also, I see gravestones up at the top right, which is interesting. I don't know what that's about, but I see like all this environment is living. It looks like it has limbs and body parts that sort of extrude out of each face of every structure. But in terms of movement, there is none. Like with the environment, there's no movement, so it leads me to believe that all of this environment was likely sculpted in 3D, painted over in 2D, and then composited into Blender, where they then slapped his character in, or maybe his character is another 2D thing that they slapped 3D hair and clothes onto. That's my analysis of this scene.
And so too
Just in my
was
opinion.
Shadow born.
There is a good amount of depth happening here, so this is definitely at least, like at bare minimum, this is 2D, which is composited into like Blender or Maya to get that parallax effect as the camera is panning around. Because none of it is actually, like the limbs and stuff don't like writhe around or move, so leads me to believe that it's all 2D because it would save a lot of time instead of sculpting all that in 3D. But then again, this is for a game, and they've probably already sculpted that for the game itself, so they could just use those assets. You never know. You never fully know.
What followed was a war unseen. One that could never be put to song.
I'm very interested in this because that looks like Mog. That looks like Mog. If you know who Mog is, he's an omen that has, in the story of Elden Ring, he like abducted Miquella from his rebirthing womb and brought him to his own palace, where most people would assume gay sex happened. And sorry. Yeah, that's the ongoing joke, half joke, because nobody really knows if it actually happened or not. I think it may have. Who knows? But either way, there is also a character that's established here. This character right here and this character off to the side, unless that's a new enemy type. But this one in the foreground is almost definitely like a standalone character, maybe a tarnished or I don't know. Definitely somebody who works with Messmer, because he has the same sort of like dragonite red flame motif on his helmet. It just seems very, yeah, he's like probably a commander of this army or something like that. That is very clearly an omen from the Palace of Blood, because he's wearing the same robes. I don't know if that's Mohg, because we've already killed Mohg in the game. I don't think it would make sense for him to come back only to die again off screen. So probably that's some other omen. This right here, I actually really love this. If you understand compositions and like how the shapes work in terms of art and film compositions, this is like the golden ratio composition, where you have a swirl that leads to a certain point at the sort of off to like the side of the middle of the screen. Here you can really see how it works. So we have Messmer over here on the right side of the screen, right? And we have this bit of environment that sort of cascades downward, and it just leads your eyes from the right side of the screen down and then up to the left, up into the little twirling like flame tassels in the sky, and then down to the burning city. It's a really good piece of compositional work. I love what they did with this. FromSoft is always super consistent on like their ability to
the tyranny of
handle these insane moments where they have to get the message across with just art alone, right? Because the narration is usually talking about the background story of what's happening in front of you, but the story itself, at least of the present, like the story of the present is usually being told through artwork. And I absolutely love the way that FromSoft does it. They do it like none other, honestly. They're like, even just here, their use of warm colors to really just like I don't know. They're keeping a lot of warm tones here without it being like overbearing. You know, there's nothing here that's really cool tone. It's all warm. It's all warm tones, and they've done it so well.
Of Messmer.
I will say the wiggling effect, like the heat distortion effect, is likely done in post-processing. Another thing that's likely done in post-processing is I see this little misty smoke thing on the top right, next to these like broken pillars off to the side. It's like kind of up at the top right of the screen. You can see this sort of misty ghosting effect, which probably happened with post-processing flame effects that they messed around with the blend modes on or something. Whether that's in a video editing software or in something like Blender, I don't know. But yeah, just worth noting. There's also a good chance that this is composited on 2 different layers, so you probably or 3 even. There could be the background layer, then the subject itself, like the character standing there, or sitting there, sorry, and then you would have like the foreground, which is quite literally the ground that the character is sitting on. This does look like it's probably actually separate assets. The ground might be 2D with a little bit of like depth perception going on, with different flame particles being placed very strategically and masked out where they need to be in order to sell the idea that this is a 3D space, but it doesn't have to be a 3D space. They can actually save a lot of time trying to get these picturesque shots if they just do it in 2D. In like almost a replica of the 3D environments that they have designed. So
Messmer's flame.
Very cool, very cool. I think this shot might have actually been mostly 2D. That's definitely 3D. And that looks gorgeous. That looks gorgeous. Like just this right here, oh my god. The way that this creature moves is just so unreal. It's like so unknowable. Like if you look at that as it's coming towards you, what do you even, like, you have no perception of what to do in that situation. It's almost autonomous the way that it moves. And it sounds autonomous as well. It's just amazing sound design. It's amazing visual concepting. I don't know. This is on another level of artistic originality, in my opinion. There's also a very good use of like not having to do too much high poly work because of the lighting that's used here. It's very harsh lighting, and they can get away with, you know, not having all these pristine details in areas where the character might be creasing their body and things like that. You can really hide that in the darker areas when you have this really harsh lighting. Messmer looks incredible in this cinematic, honestly, and the particle work as well is beautifully done. It's properly composited. Like if you look here, likely these particles are actually done, if they're done in 3D like Maya or something, that's amazing. But I think they could probably save a lot of rendering time if they just do the particles in post-processing, and likely they would mask around his hand, like his fingers, so that you don't see the particles like anywhere before his hand. Basically it needs to come after. It needs to be over here rather than in front of here. You get what I mean? So they would like draw a mask around it and tell the particles, hey, don't interact with this, just slip by behind it, and that's effectively how it works. Man, this looks really cool, and I can't imagine them doing this only in 2D. They probably did this. They probably did this with like a proper VFX artist in a 3D software rather than doing that in like After Effects or something. It just works that way. They already have people that specialize in VFX, so I don't think they would need to actually like do too much of anything else in video editing, honestly. Now this is interesting. These look like crucified omens. So there's multiple. There was one that was dead on the stairs with several spears driven into its back, but you look around and there's like a bunch of other crucified soldiers or undead. I don't know. They don't really look like they're wearing armor, but they are being burned alive. So maybe they were stripped of their armor. They could have actually been soldiers and they're just left there. I have no idea. But these pikes are huge. Like, look at how tall these pikes are. Whatever Messmer is doing here, it seems like he's trying to get rid of the omens and the basically anyone that has anything to do with the Crucifix Knights. So very interesting. I'm very intrigued with Messmer's character and what role he really plays, and I'm also looking forward to vtuber making a breakdown video of this. This was posted 13 hours ago. Wow. Maybe he's already made one. I don't know. This is another beautiful shot. A lot of really nice particle work going on here, which is something that you'll actually see a lot in games where you have these structures that sort of break into particles and like float up into the sky. I would say it's probably mostly like a... there are multiple ways to do it, I guess. You can sort of fabricate it using a shader displacement, or you can do like... I don't know. There's a lot of ways you can do it in 3D. There are noise planes that you can use, or things like that. I don't know. They could also have coded an entire like specific plugin or specific add-on onto their game engine or their 3D software in order to actually get this to work as a preset. Which would be smart, honestly. But either way, just the way that they put together this tree is, I don't know, it's beautiful in its own existence. I love it. And then we get this. This right here is just an astounding work of art. I mean, the use of color here is absolutely gorgeous. The green in the sky is sort of bleeding out into the gold. It feels very Kung Fu Panda. You know what I mean? Like, Kung Fu Panda has always been known to have these insane color compositions when it comes to sky boxes and how they handle the environment, how to light the environment. DreamWorks did an amazing job on Kung Fu Panda, and that's kind of what I see here with From Software. They seem to be taking a page out of the coloring book from DreamWorks and just really leaning into that like fantasy world feel of the green and golden sky. It's just beautiful. I don't know, man. I don't know. There aren't even like, beautiful isn't enough. There aren't words to describe what this is to me. I absolutely love this. This looks like Liurnia. This looks a lot like Liurnia. So I'm assuming that there are like multiple entryways to the DLC, I guess, or like multiple markings that sort of give more details on what the DLC is about, or whatever the case may be. I don't know. I think it's probably multiple entryways. Or like beckoning signs, right? Where you like get a message from Miquella and he's like talking to you. That's what I would assume, because that looks like a great rune, and all of them have the same design. So I would assume he has the ability to communicate to you through his great rune, and that might be why. These are placed around the world. It could just be beacons for you to talk to Miquella. I have no idea. I'm trying to speculate on things that I have no idea, like I don't know anything about, so I probably sound stupid, but you know, I'm just me.
His golden flesh, his blinding strength.
Not too much to say about that shot because it's mostly blurred out, but we do get to see younger Miquella in the background, and I think there's been a lot of discourse as to how old Miquella really is. Of course, he's like hundreds, if not thousands of years old, but we've seen multiple depictions of him where he's younger or he's more adult-like. In this case, I think we'll probably run into the more adult Miquella rather than the boyish one. That's just my opinion. This very much confirms the Saint Trina theory that had been floating around with Elden Ring, because we had seen this nascent butterfly, which belonged to Saint Trina. There was all these nods to Saint Trina and her being a very benevolent character, very much like Miquella. And yeah, there was no butterfly that was specific to Miquella, but there was one for Saint Trina. So there was a lot of debate, I guess, with people who weren't entirely sure about it. But I think majority of the community knew that Miquella and Saint Trina were very much the same person. They seem to have the ability to either just switch between alter egos or legitimately shapeshift across a different gender. You never know, but yeah.
Even his fate.
For the most part, Miquella is referenced as a he, so it's assumed that that has always been sort of his identity. But in terms of Saint Trina, that's something else.
But we are
And it is
not
interesting. I love this shot, by the way. This is another use case of the golden ratio, going from, like, look at how the tassels, the sort of, what is it? The veil in the sky has this swooping motion that leads your eyes down to the tarnished, and then over to the left and up and back around to the great rune right there that really pops out of the sky in its brightness with all that dark cloudiness going on. It's just really, really, really good compositional work. I love it. The use of, you know, not really, what is it? They're not overusing their colors, basically. So they have like these orange into yellow into darker grays and browns, right? And then you suddenly shoot into white. That really contrasts with the little bit of the, like, shadow Erdtree that you can see in the background there. It's just really cool.
We choose to follow.
I love it. And then we get another shot right here, which, this gave me chills. And it's just all of the tarnish. These are probably NPCs that you can talk to as well, or like gain knowledge from. I absolutely love their designs. They look incredible, and I'm pretty sure all of their armor is obtainable. I absolutely love the work that FromSoft did on this game, man. And this is going to be a massive expansion. I'm so looking forward to it. June 21st cannot come any sooner, honestly. Oh, excuse me.
Will you walk with us?
Like, that's a beautiful shot. That is a beautiful shot. Yeah, From Software has always been known for these amazing, for their amazing art direction, I would say. They're very artistic in everything. Even if the games don't have like insanely good graphics, the games still look gorgeous because the art direction is just stellar. It's absolutely amazing. Even looking at some of the shots from the gameplay trailer, like these are all scenes that you can just get in the game. And here, I've been here, looks identical. Like that's just literally, that's in game. This right here, I've never been here because that's part of the DLC and I cannot wait to get my hands on it. But you can see like the player character just galloping through on a horse. And just the, oh man. I love that this, like, it feels like a Dutch tilt angle, but this is actually leveled. Like this is probably what you would see in the game. The world is like tilted almost into this sort of uneasy feeling. I love it. This is another thing that we also do a lot in the art industry, or just generally, not even just the industry, it's artists in general. Whenever we have a vast environment that we really want to sell the scale of and the distance of, if there's a break-in environment before the next chunk of land, usually volumetric fog is going to play a big part in that. Basically, any depth that is going to be shown in the environment is usually shown with volumetric fog. And here they made the fog specifically orange and gold, and like it's just, I don't know. It's really nice, and they managed to implement that into the game seamlessly, which I can't get enough of, honestly. Look at this, man. Like, this is something you will actually encounter when you boot up the game into this DLC. You will see this. Like, this is something that you will see. Just like whenever people first got their hands on Elden Ring in 2022, and we all, like, got through the first area where we beat, what was it? We beat Godric. And then once you go through that castle, and you set your eyes on the entirety of Liurnia, and you can see in the distance the volcano manor, you can see just everything off. It's like, it is this beautiful moment where you're like, oh my god, this world is so much bigger than I thought. And nobody really believed that you would be able to go to everything that you can see in the game, but you genuinely can. You can go everywhere. If you can see it, you can go there. And it's just, oh man. Oh, it's so amazing. I love it. I love it. This is beautiful artwork. And this is all done in level design. That's what's astounding to me. It's like, on an artistic level, yes, this is awesome. As a painting, that could go on a wall. But the fact that this looks this good and also has seamless, intricate, and just absolutely immaculate level design baked into it as well. Like, when you go there, you're still gonna have to play the game in there, and they really they put the brains and the brawn together on that one, man. They really went all out. Like, all of this is just gonna it's gonna have some insane gameplay elements to it, and it looks that good. Honestly, this is like this is the peak of video games as of the last few years. Honestly, I think this is probably gonna be Game of the Year again. It got Game of the Year in 2022, and now that this DLC is coming out and basically making it an entirely new game, I think this is going to be Game of the Year Part 2 for Elden Ring. Like, that is just gorgeous. That is just, what do you even, how does another game studio even compete with this? How?
Forsaken place.
You don't.
Blood must
That's
stay.
out.
Blood of
Love the art direction in this area, which it kind of reminds me of Renala's chamber, but not quite. This is very much different, I can tell.
your fellows.
But it is very interesting seeing this character, and I'm wondering what his role is, because he seems to be the one narrating, and he's talking about how the blood of your fellows has to be spilled in this place that he's talking about, which is likely the Shadow Realm, or whatever it's called. Yeah. I think
The Erdtree faithful.
now this is interesting. I can't quite make out who this character is, but that's mostly because I'm a little bit out of touch in terms of Elden Ring characters and how they look anymore. You know, it's been a while. It's been like almost a year since I last looked at Elden Ring characters, but based on my own knowledge, I don't think that's Miquella. I think that's either Marika or that's Fia, the deathbed companion. It's one of those two, in my opinion. I don't know which one, though. This looks gorgeous. I think they can probably, like, I don't know how the player would interact with these other than maybe blowing them up or something, or dropping them on top of, I don't know. What if there's a boss down there that needs to have these explosive barrels dropped on? I don't know. Explosive pots, sorry, not barrels. But I'm also thinking that this could also be like a platforming challenge for players to like parkour their way down into the bottom of this well, or I don't know, this pit, basically. This reminds me of the Volcano Manor quite a lot. I wouldn't be surprised if this is the Volcano Manor or something very similar.
They were never seen.
This gives me some hefty vibes of like Europe and Paris. I love the architectural like detailing work that they did here. A lot of these assets are of course reused, and that's very realistic as well. You know, in real life, a lot of these a lot of these pillars and stuff, or like different designs for walls, are just reused so that you don't have to, you know, spend too much time trying to make everything look all different. I think it looks amazing the way that it is. I'm not saying that this is reused from like, oh, it already existed in the game and they just slapped it in again. No, I'm saying like they built new assets for this that they could reuse to build the full thing. So like they make an asset for part of the wall and then they use that to make a bigger wall, basically. That's what I mean. But I love how you have like the top of these buildings sort of dissipate or dissolve into literal particles, which raises some questions for me in terms of like, is the world decaying? Is this a dream state? What exactly is this? Is this the afterlife? Who knows? But everything is quite literally decaying.
Be on the losing side of a war.
And there's our big boss. Dude, I love the design of this arena as well. Like, of course the boss is sick. The boss is amazing, but the design of this arena is just so, it's so regal. It's like, it feels like it's emulating the crucifix. You know what I mean? Like the crucifix knights of Elden Ring. It has this feeling to it that like, when you come here, you expect to see something that is accursed or something that's like exiled from the world of Elden Ring, right? It gives the feeling of the depths from, I think it was the Bjornia depths or something like that, where you have like all the big ants and stuff and you fight all of those unknowable creatures, basically. I absolutely love it. That's awesome. That is just awesome. And then we have Messmer.
Mother, wouldst thou truly lordship sanction?
He has all these design motifs of serpents and wings, basically like Dragonite type things, which brings into question what exactly is his motive. Like what exactly does he worship, if anything? Does he just worship himself, or is he like a dragon slayer that calls upon the power of dragons to, you know, use his flame? Like what exactly is the thing? Does he give his flame to the dragons? I don't know. Maybe he's the reason why dragons even have their flame, or maybe he's the reason why the player character is actually able to consume dragon hearts to attain their powers. This could very well be that. Like the dragon communion thing could be him entirely. I have no idea, and it's so interesting. But seeing all this dragon motif and serpents and all that stuff with flame, it just reeks of dragon communion to me.
So bereft of light.
Also, his voice line seems to be almost taunting Marika, right? Because he says, "Mother, would you?" What did he say? Yeah. Would you truly lordship sanction in one so bereft of light? Which is basically just like, would you truly entrust someone to lordship when they're this stupid? Like that's basically what he's saying. Because at this point in the game, this DLC is intended to come after you've beaten the game, so you've already become Elden Lord. So he's questioning like, would you really let someone like this take the throne? Like, would you really? This guy's an idiot. You would let this moron take the throne? That's crazy, Mom. That's crazy, Mom.
Bereft of light.
So it seems like whatever his purpose is something that Marika did not really agree with. But also, like, why is it that he wasn't just killed? And also, why exactly do the flame giants exist? Are they using Messmer's flame, or do they take influence from Messmer? They all have these red garbs and red clothing, these red braids, and all these things that are red that all very much emulate the visuals of Messmer, now that we know what he looks like. So it's like, okay, is the big flame cauldron in the mountaintops of the giants, like, is that something that was derived from Messmer? Is that the reason why it can burn down the Erdtree? I don't know. There's so many things to speculate about this. But yeah, overall, it's just really nice stuff. I'm not gonna like go for too long here because we're already 41 minutes in. We're already 41 minutes in, but we'll just go in like shot by shot. Just look at a few of these. I love their use of color. Once again, I'm gonna talk about it, but like the fact that this is all entirely just like cool colors now. This looks like it's probably gonna be used as a PvP arena or some sort of like Aether realm, I guess, that's like neighboring or I don't know, basically like a second realm that you can go to within the lands between. Ooh, excuse me, sorry. That's what I think. That's what I think this is gonna be. It's probably just gonna be a big open PvP arena because we have yet to have that in Elden Ring, and I think this is gonna introduce it. Then again, we do have PvP arenas, right? With the big coliseums. I think those are PvP arenas. I don't know. This boss right here actually kind of emulates the feeling of Radon to me. Just the fact that like it's this big hulking figure on the back of a horse that seems to be struggling to carry it. This right here, I don't know. I have no idea what this could be. Is someone of the Golden Order, most likely, just like they're coated in gold. But also, this isn't their body. Like that's not their spine. That's whatever this weapon is. This seems to be a weapon because they're pulling it out of their head. And you can see like the spines of the weapon sort of bend down inch by inch as it's about to like, I guess, fully retract and just slip out of his head. Like I don't know. It's such an unknowable scene. I love the way that they handle these body horror moments where it's like it's not really scary to look at it, right? But it's like, what even is that? What am I looking at? Like this is like, yeah, it's disgusting, but it's disgusting in a way that I can appreciate. Like this is artistically disgusting, and it really, I don't know. It just screams like you will never understand what this thing is. Except from maybe someone else's perspective of it.
Of gold, shadow, death, in the embrace of Messmer's flame.
Come now, touch the withered arm, and travel to the realm of shadow. I will not be far behind. May we meet again.
So anything that has been stripped of gold is to die by Messmer's flame. Interesting. Very interesting. So he doesn't destroy anything that is of the Golden Order? Where exactly does he stand then? Where is his morality? What is he fighting for? I guess that's all things that we'll find out once the DLC comes out June 21st. Yeah, I don't know. If you enjoyed this video, definitely give it a like. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. And I probably speculated a lot of things wrongly about this. So this is going to age wonderfully. But anyway. Yeah, I don't know. Take care. Have a good time zone wherever you may be. And I will see you on the next video, which will be fairly soon. I have a video that's actually going over the Honkai Star Rail first animated short, Reburn. So we will see that when it's ready. Anyway, take care. I'll see you guys next time.